Welcome to our Monday show. My name is Dina.
My name is Anna.
So, we are here to answer your questions about international dating and marriage.
And today's poll question would you be okay with marrying a woman who has a child?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to talk about. So, guys, please send your answers and your questions in a live chat. We'll read them, answer them. But let's start with talking a little bit more about our tours and seminars.
First of all, thank you everyone who came to our seminar on Saturday here in Phoenix. We had so much fun, right, Anna?
Way too much.
After party, pool party, how was that? Good, right?
Yeah, too bad I didn't attend that one.
Yeah,
I missed the best part.
Just kidding. But it was good, so much fun. Thank you guys so much for coming. And we will have more seminars. So in Chicago, November 2nd, Indianapolis, November 3rd, Dana Point, November 16th, and Las Vegas is November 17th. We'll be really happy to see you guys there. So what's that important? That's actually event one you don't want to miss. So it's a really special discount what you can get only at our seminars. And then you can meet John Adams and Anna. Great food, right, Anna?
Always.
Always.
Some drinks. That's it.
Yes. And on seminars, we are talking not about how to write letters or stuff like that. We are talking about offline dating. So that's really important information what we're given on seminars. So that's fun too. So then we have a tours. So Peru, October 24th. So you guys still can make it, right? On 24th.
It's never too late. Airplanes are still flying.
Yes. So Cartagena, October 31st. Shenzhen in China, November 21st. And Kiev, Odessa, November 21st. And guess who's going to be your tour leader?
The best tour leader.
Yes, absolutely, guys. So you don't want to miss that tour.
Yeah, I'm that modest, you know. And again, I know all the best places in Kiev to eat, but claim that he knows all the best places to eat. No, I know better places. But anyway, guys, so let's read what we have as far as questions for today. So, Kenny, hey guys, I just wanted to send out kudos for Saturday's seminar. I was a really tall guy with baseball hat. Of course, Kenny, I remember. See, I remember you from 3 years ago. Of course, I remember you. Anna and Dina are more beautiful in person, and Joe, he's the same.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was really nice to meet you at seminar.
Yes, thank you for coming. It was fun. It's good to see you again. Hope we'll see you more.
Yes.
So the next one, Mark, I'm going on Shenzhen tour in November. When should I, wait, 1 second. When should I have a list of the girls I'm interested in sent in? Also, what would be a good number of girls, since I'm quite sure a few might not be able to make it an event or a date. So Mark, for a Shenzhen tour, it's a good time to send your list about 2 weeks prior, maybe 3 weeks. You don't want to do it later than that. So basically in the beginning of November is a safe time to send it, because if you send it too early, your list might change. You will see new profiles that you haven't seen before. And if you send it the last moment, well, it's kind of too late to invite people. So about 2-3 weeks prior, beginning of November, send us a list about 15 profiles plus minus. So, and then you can make another list of individual dates, but you can give it to Michelle later on. So let's see the next question.
From McKissick, answer to poll question. Yes, as long as the child is cool with me and there are no Oedipal shoes.
Whatever the spelling, whatever the spelling thing is. Definitely. Yeah, so let's talk more about it actually. About women with kids. A lot of you guys already have children, so of course bringing someone with a child into your life can create additional complications to a certain extent. But on the other hand, you're gonna have an instant family. Merging two families, as some of you probably experienced, can be slightly challenging, but again can be pretty rewarding in the end. Speaking of, again, considering dating women with children, I would, recommend that if you're going for the large age gap and you're not looking forward to have more children. So especially that's the case with Ukraine or Eastern Europe in general, and even Latin America. So if you tend to date younger women, but you already have your kids and they're grown and you're not looking to become father again, then probably either stick to older generation, so I would say 40 and up, or if you're interested for somebody who's younger than 40, then you probably really need to look for a woman who already has a child, because otherwise, biological clock are ticking. And she would, especially in Eastern Europe, 98% chance if she's younger than 40 and does not have a kid, she would want to have a child. And that's the case with a lot of countries, again, like most of Latin American countries. Not so much with China. China might be a little different, an exception to it. Somewhat Thailand. Philippines is the only destination that keeps so open mind towards anything, the age gap, kids, no kids. So that's, I guess, again, if you have very strict criteria on what you're searching for, Philippines might be the good place to go. Okay, the question from Bob. I would like to hear from both of you. When a guy first steps in the room, what are the first few things that you notice about the man? I know Dina's answer already.
I know your answer, Anna, too.
Well,
Maybe,
and would make it turn your head and want to meet him. And well, let's start with that part, and we'll go with the rest of the questions. So, what do you notice the first?
So, okay, guys, we all have our a perfect man. It's in our head, so we already know who we would like to meet and how he should look like. And then after that, so we will look at your shoes for sure, absolutely.
Even if you're a prince on a white horse and you're wearing that horrible sneakers, that's older than us, then yeah, that's even if you're that Prince Charming.
Yes.
Not quite gonna
so
work.
Don't forget shoes. They don't have to be fancy, expensive shoes, but they at least need to be new.
Yeah,
or clean.
Clean. Not quite ugly, preferably, ideally. But anyway, of course, yes, as Dina mentioned, we all have our preferences in physical appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But there is nothing you can do about that. So we look the way we look. But definitely notice the way men dress. It is important. Dress to impress. That's very important to make the first impression. So I guess in my case, I definitely pay attention to the outfit when I'm looking around, and that's how you can judge a person. Unfortunately or fortunately.
It's like everywhere you listen anything like such advices, and they'll say we will judge first on how you look like, about your clothes, about your shoes. It's what we're going to judge. Hair, how tall you are, probably.
Yeah, that too.
Because I like tall guys. What about you, Anna?
Guys, made to take a note.
Mm-hmm.
But it's yes. So before you open your mouth, before you start talking to him, she's already probably gonna make certain impression of you, and it's gonna be hard to change it. Of course, you have a great outgoing personality. It's gonna affect and make a huge difference. So even if you're the best dressed guy in the room and you're just grumpy and crabby,
yes,
it does. Yeah, so the date's not gonna go well. It doesn't really matter. But again, preferably have the combination of the looks and personality. So the next question,
next part
of the question. What are the things that make you want to talk with him further? Well, that's a personality. So, you start talking to someone. Of course, you're looking for that chemistry, for that spark. But in many cases, it doesn't appear instantly. The conversation is the most important part. So talk about anything, something that interests you. Don't talk, it's good to,
it's good to ask questions.
Yeah, good to ask questions. Again, make sure it doesn't sound like a job interview too, because that, just everything's good in moderation. But definitely express, your interest in her by asking more about her. And in the meantime, you can add pieces and bits about yourself, but people like when you talk about them. That's
ask her what is her favorite movie,
anything neutral. Not like, okay, so where do you see yourself in 15 years?
Oh no, that's don't
what's
do that.
What's the name of our future children, and what color of the house you prefer, and are you ready to move to United States or whatever country it is? Yeah, don't start with those, drastic questions. Leave it for leave it for later.
Would you marry me? Leave it for next day, like my husband did. We just met and he asked me to marry him next day. Thank God, my first thing.
I guess if that's the right girl, so why not? If
Yes.
you know that's the one. And answer the poll question, or question to a poll question.
Yeah, next part.
Yeah, next part, as far as the poll question. I prefer a woman without a child only because you don't know what the father situation is and can be complicated. I definitely agree with you to a certain extent on that. It is important, father involvement in a child's life is definitely important. But again, if we're talking about Eastern Europe, usually that's not a big problem because parenthood in Eastern Europe is complicated. So usually, once parents get divorced or break up, father is nowhere to be found, not paying child support, not present in kids' life. So, that's a good question to ask. So when you meet someone, the conversation goes well and she mentions she has a child, you might ask that question, if everything else matches, if there's a chemistry, everything else is great, you get along just fine, the child thing should not stop you because, again, father most likely is not anywhere near to be found and it's not an issue. In other countries, it's a little bit different cultures. Might be the similar case in Latin America. So is Philippines and Thailand. So just ask her how that looks like before you make a final decision on that. And again, I agree, it will make things complicated. It will. But isn't the good thing worth putting effort in? And we all, prefer to meet the ideal partner with, ideal requirements. But as you know, life is not that simple like that. Sometimes that person we always dreamed of has something else going on, and just keep an open mind. That's very important. I think we have actually a little trailer to show you guys. So we have a wonderful former, at this point, client named David, and he met his wife now through us, and it's actually very enchanting, very heartwarming story how they met. He was a widower, his wife passed away from cancer, his daughter passed away from cancer. And he met this woman on a website who had pretty much the same sad story. And that's how they just started talking because they had this tragedy that united them. And what it led to, from the tragedy, it led to a very beautiful family. So I would like to show you the trailer with, and if you'd like to see the full video, it's pretty much on every girl's profile, so look for just a video link over there.
Your story, probably one of the most interesting stories a foreign affair has ever experienced.
Well, it definitely isn't what I expected. Even with my wife, we would just see these people from all over the world that are willing to change their life. Never thinking that someday I'm going to actually go on a tour,
Right.
because she wouldn't be with me anymore. But ultimately, she passed away from cancer 5 months after my daughter passed away from cancer. To put it mildly, was pretty devastated. I didn't want to do anything. I remember telling my children that I really just didn't care anymore. About a year later, my daughter came home and said, I need to get up out of the chair and go someplace. She goes, take a trip, travel, go do something. I mean, I could just go to travel and be a tourist. And at the same time, maybe, interact with some people again. To coin a phrase, get out there. I looked at the site, I saw there was a tour coming up and said, why not? I booked the tour right away, joined the site, and it was great. Then we came to Social in Kiev. I mean, I had 23-year-olds coming up to me, beautiful women, don't get me wrong. I mean, oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. I wasn't really interested in dating or anything, but it was somewhat uncomfortable for me because that wasn't really what I was there for. I was not interested in going to another social, so you kept telling, no, just go, just go. When it came time to go to the social, I wandered on over to the club. And I walked in, and I'll never forget it. There was this woman sitting at the corner of a dance floor in the booth, sitting on the end. And I felt like a 15-year-old boy in high school that had a crush on some girl. I hate to say cliches, but I mean, stopped me in my tracks. And then I remember saying, look at her eyes. She's gone through something like what I've gone through. It was like my wife and God brought us together. I knew what was happening in her life before I even said hello to her. I just had this uncontrollable feeling for her that if I can do anything in my life to make this woman happy, that's what I want to do.
Guys, such an amazing story. We all cried when we watched it first time. So, and it's
And
happened.
we're Russians, you
Yeah.
know, and that's,
We
that's
don't cry,
hard,
no.
trust me.
We're
We're
tough,
pretty
right?
stoic, yeah.
So yeah, it's happened from time to time, stories like that. But this time we captured that beautiful story, and hope you enjoy it too, guys. So you can see it on girls' profiles, right there.
And let's get back to the questions. Apparently we have a lot of them. So, question from John. Hi, is there another area to reply to the poll question, or this is a spot? Yep, that's a spot. So guys, just submit your questions here and we'll read them and answer them. Hold on, that's all. Okay, great. Let me find the one I lost. Okay. And the next question from Tom. How long does it take to get a visa for China? Is it needed? What is needed to get visa? Tom, so it's not that complicated. It's gonna take less than 2 weeks most likely. So you can either, if you have Chinese consulate in your city, you can just walk in and apply. Just make sure you gather your paperwork. Or I would personally recommend to use a third-party agency just so they can verify all documents, filled out correct, and provide you with everything else that's needed. Because if you mess up one of the forms, they're gonna decline your visa, and you just don't want that to happen to you. So there are a few agencies that we recommend, like mychinavisa.com or Visa HQ. So you can just Google them, and you will see the prices and processing times. Okay.
From David, Los Angeles, I would marry a woman who has a child. I want to thank Dina for answering my questions last week about St. Petersburg. I'm thinking about going to either St. Petersburg or Kharkov and Dnipropetrovsk. I cannot decide which destination. Do you ladies have any suggestions? Thank you. You're very welcome, David. So I think any destination will be good. We just don't have a tour to St. Petersburg, so it will have to be individual introduction in St. Petersburg, but we will have a tour in Kharkov, Dnipropetrovsk in April, Kharkov probably in April too, somewhere in the spring.
Yeah, I would say the same. So if St. Peter is a great destination, there are so many beautiful ladies. It's a cultural capital of Russia.
Me,
so
I'm from St. Petersburg.
yes, exactly. So many beautiful, wonderful ladies, just like Dina. So you can go and meet them. Although if you consider a group tour, I would actually probably would suggest Dnipropetrovsk. Don't get me wrong, Kharkov is an amazing destination. Again, the same. Almost cultural capital of Ukraine in a way that's its university city. So there are so many universities, and ladies are high educated. Quite a few of them speak English. But Dnipro, I would recommend simply because it's a little bit out of the way. We don't go there very often, but you would be amazed the type of women you can meet there. So down to earth, so friendly, so nice. And genuinely looking for a life partner. If personally that was me in your shoes, I would go for a Dnipro tour. If you're considering the group tour, otherwise St. Peter's.
Yeah, I heard
is
about
great.
that. Girls from Dnipropetrovsk, they're really nice and down to earth. So, yeah, that's a good city to go. From Melvin, cannot wait to return to Peru for the tour this week. And yes, I would consider marrying a lady with a child. I believe such women tend to be more mature than those with no children. But the quality of the lady should always be first and foremost in any decision.
I agree, Melvin. That's a great point.
Absolutely, I think I totally agree that a woman with child more mature because she has a lot of responsibilities. So yes, absolutely.
And the next question, or a more like answer from Richard. Yes, I have many nieces and nephews and I love kids. Well, great. So you already have experience, so you know what you're signing up for. And the question, does your agency assist the men in returning to be with their ladies after they have been on the tours? Well, you can always give us a call. We'd be happy to help with advice. If you need help with booking hotels or any other travel arrangements, well, just give me a call, and yeah, we'd be happy to assist with whatever it is you need. So, not a problem.
From Chuck, for the upcoming Ukrainian tour, can we visit Mezhigorye National Park near Kiev? How much would this cost? Wow,
Well, so
interesting.
technically it's not like part of the group tour, but it's an excursion. It's a day trip. Mezhigorye is about less than an hour away drive from Kiev. So yeah, I absolutely can help you with scheduling the trip. You can take a bus tour there. You know, they depart from Independence Square like every hour, so that's piece of cake. And you know, you leave in the morning, come back at night. And the same, you know, if you want to just take a cab there on your own, like, you know, if you want to go on your own, we can do it. So there are a bunch of ways to get there. Just talk to our staff, they will set you up with
So
that.
maybe it's like more for a spring or a summer.
Yeah, the
It's
only
not
thing
like
is
in
in
a-
Medjugorje. So in Medjugorje is the residence of the former president of Ukraine, which is, it's incredible. Like it's Ukrainian Versailles almost.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you will see what I mean when you get there. But the only thing, if you go, you're talking about upcoming tour in November, that might be a little chilly, or even in January, because it's a lot of walking around in the park. So unless you live like up north in Canada, then you might not necessarily be used to all
Take
that
a
walking
heavy jacket,
in
yeah.
the snow, yeah, or in walking shoes too.
Yeah.
Our next question from Larry: does AFA select the women who attend the socials? How does AFA control the amount of women who attend? And are the socials ever full so that AFA must stop women from entering the social? Well, that's an excellent question, Larry. So as far as you know, how AFA select women, technically it's you guys who select women. Each tour participant submit a list of ladies that he would like to invite. As we actually mentioned earlier, we're answering somebody's question about China invitation. So each tour participant give us a list of the people he would like to see. Of course, our staff will invite some ladies as well that they know personally, who would like to attend. So at least half of the people in the room are being invited by you guys, and other half is invited by staff. But all women are registered with the AFA, so pretty much all of them have profiles or soon to be having profiles on the AFA website. And how does AFA control the amount of women who attend? Well, we call them in advance, we send them messages, so they respond to us and confirming whether they're gonna attend or not gonna attend. So we can just plan accordingly and call more people if needed, and vice versa. Once we hit the certain amount, we probably should, kind of stop calling women because, like, for example, Ukrainian socials are 300-400 women at each social. Of course, we don't want to invite 1,000 people to get room overcrowded. That's way too much. So yeah, the staff know what they're doing, and they're gonna call just the right number of women, so you guys won't be lonely there.
From Neil, my beautiful girl in Lviv has 12-year daughter. The daughter has never known her father and writes to me too, with mom's permission, of course. She refers to me as her dad. I will have 2 new women in my life soon. I cannot wait to meet them both very soon.
Кохаю, дякую. Well, I see you learning
Кохаю,
Ukrainian there. Well, great, Neil. It's so wonderful to hear that you met someone special in your life, and again, that you keep an open mind and you're welcoming this little girl in your life. It's gonna be so much joy, because when she moves here, you're gonna be helping her establish her life, helping to adjust to school, learn the language. Again, it is wonderful that you all, even before your lady, moves here, that her daughter and your future stepdaughter feels that way about you and refers to you as a dad. That's actually wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it. That's nice. You're lucky, because teenagers, they're not very nice. Even your own kids, they're not very nice to their parents, but it's nice. She must be really nice mom, your girl. So it's kid is really nice.
Question from Butch. What is the best city in Ukraine to meet single women over 45? Well, that's a really good question, and I'm trying to pick one city, but I'm a little struggling.
Dnipropetrovsk, maybe?
Well, Dnipro is definitely. I mean, it is almost the same number of profiles in that age group in every city, plus minus. So my suggestion is probably just use a search engine, enter your age criteria, and see where you find the most profiles of the women that you're interested. Because again, everybody has physical preferences and other preferences as well. So you might want to do homework on it, because otherwise it's pretty much even out throughout the Ukraine. Okay. So.
EC. I went on the Western Ukrainian tour with Joe, and it was great. I met many great ladies and want to return. What is your advice on making a second or third trip? Can they visit the U.S. on a tourist visa? So I think you should maybe go to different cities. If you went to Kiev, go to Kharkov or Odessa if you didn't go there. So maybe try different cities, see if, I'm not sure if you met any, oh, you said you met great girls. So, and about visa, no, absolutely not. I think 99% it's not going to happen. Tourist visa, it's really hard to get tourist visa for a single beautiful young girl, so because all that immigration issues. But the fiance visa not so bad. It will take like 7 months. You can apply online and just have to wait 7 months, and then she'll come here and she will have 90 days. You guys both have 90 days to decide if you want to get married. If not, she'll just go back to Ukraine. I think it's similar to tourist visas. It's really hard to get a tourist visa.
And I would just add about, going back there for a second, third trip. So you mentioned you met some women. If it's one woman, I would, if it's one lady you really fallen up with, I would suggest to, take it, as Dina mentioned, take a trip with her to another city. So for example, let's imagine she lives in Kiev. Well, take a little romantic trip to Lviv. It's a city in the western Ukraine. You can look it up. It is very historical. It's close to the border. It's very different atmosphere. It's up in the mountains, so there are tons of things to do in the summer and the winter time. And even though you're still staying in Ukraine, but because you're taking this little trip together, you will get to know each other better. So it's the best way to get an idea of someone's personality. When you spend 24/7, you will know who she is, and she will know who you are, and the way you deal with traveling, because there is a lot of stress associated with that. That should really help. Or if your finances allow, you can take go meet somewhere out in the country. For example, Ukrainian citizens do not require a visa to go to almost any country in European Union, so you can go hang out in Paris, or you can meet here in Mexico if you can get away for that long to travel overseas. Just meet here in Mexico or Caribbean, because again, visa is not required. Well, for Mexico it's required, but it's electronic visa, so piece of cake. And or another thing, if you meet multiple women, so let's say you meet 2-3 girls in whatever city it is, Kiev or Kharkov or Odessa or Nikolaev, then just plan a trip, a return trip to that city, stay there as long as you need, follow up with those women and figure out which one is the right one.
Okay, from Ben, a legend Mexican USA. I met a woman on a mother website. I met a woman on a mother website. Could help me get in touch with her. She from the Philippines.
Give us a call tomorrow, and we can see what we can do. We just need a little bit more information on that. It's kind of hard to answer like that. Okay, so the answer from John. If you love a woman, hold on, I lost it. Every time a new question comes, that just drops the. Hold on. If you love a woman and she's the love of your life, then you will love her child as much as you love her. And again, that is great, and that's how it should be. It could be, be a bit more complicated than that, but if you truly love each other and you're passionate about each other, you will put a lot of effort, and she will put a lot of efforts in making things work. So again, life is never perfect, but 2 people can work it out if they really try.
From Matthew, North Dakota, I would marry a woman with a child.
Great,
That's
Matthew.
great.
That's
Nice.
wonderful. Okay, the next question from Bob. What are the advantages of 14 days tour? If I can ask a question about the Philippines, how difficult it is getting paperwork to travel there? Well, good news for you, Bob. You are not required to have a visa to travel to Philippines. You can stay there, I believe, 21 days, better look it up. But anyway, so you're good. 14 days, you're definitely good. All you need is your valid passport that is not going to expire within 6 months from your travel date. 14 tour days, great. Well, first of all, it will cover your hotel for the entire stay. It's one thing. And second thing, you'll meet a lot of people. So if you're not quite sure what you're looking for and you feel like you need to meet a lot of people, that's the best way to go. If you're more confident in your search criteria and you already have some women in mind that you think could be a really good match, then 7 or 10 day tour, should be good enough to identify, those right candidates. But if you think you need a little more time, 14 days. And as far as on the question how difficult it is getting, answered, getting paperwork. Yeah, I got that. If you want, me. So a question from Kenneth. I'm Ken living in Palmetto, Florida. Are the women's profile identity verified? I may have an issue with one of your ladies. Well, Ken, feel free again to reach out to us tomorrow, give us ID, and we'll look into it, or whatever issues it is you might have. But we do verify profiles as far as we get in everybody's government-issued ID, passport, to make sure they the age is correct and other information correct, and we store it on file. So again, if you have some concerns, reach out to us, and we'll be happy to look into that more.
From Brian, yes, I would marry a woman with a child, but make sure.
Okay, we lost that. 1 second, Brian. We'll get back with you in just a second if our questions will stop.
All right. Yes, I would marry a woman with a child, but make sure you have a strong relationship bond with the child, because sometimes the child will be protective, his or her mom. My question is, what do you know about Playa del Carmen, Mexico? There are some Russian women there. They look really nice. Is it hard to meet those girls? Ooh, that's a special girls. We don't have so many profiles in Playa del Carmen. So it's why they're so special, because we don't have so many profiles. So it's not hard to meet them. They're just they're not far from you guys. Probably it's why you want to go there and meet them. But they're really beautiful. Yes.
The only challenge I would say in that, because everybody have exact same thought process, because it's Mexico, it's nearby, easy to travel to, those beautiful Russian girls, let me go meet them. Feel free to do that. We'll be again happy to help you. You will meet them, but just keep in mind they are extremely popular, because everybody thinking the same way. So it might be present certain challenges in dating there, but again, they're definitely there. They're available. And also keep in mind, most of those ladies are working in the tourist field there, so they own work contracts, and they will be returning to their home country after a certain period of time. They usually not, for the most of the cases, they're not living there permanently, so they just visiting or
So
temporary
you
work.
still have to go probably in Ukraine or.
So yeah,
where
you
they're
most
from,
likely
so-
end up going back to wherever it is. So. Okay, next question. If I can. Okay, from Neil. So Neil from New Zealand, can you help with a trip to Lviv? Where is the nearest AFA office, hotels, flights from Kiev, translator in Lviv? Will not be a group tour, of course, and I need a visa from here. Do you arrange for me? Neil, so with Lviv, unfortunately, there's very limited services we can provide as far as meeting women. We do not have a physical office in Lviv. We can arrange some introductions, so you can shoot me an email tomorrow or give me a call. My email address is travel@loveme.com. So I'll be happy to talk to you more about it. Again, Lviv is not most well-traveled destination, and again, we'll see what we can do for you.
Okay, from Larry. Who helps a woman in Ukraine write their profiles? Does your staff in Phoenix office translate the letters sent to women in Ukraine?
I would go crazy if I have to translate all those millions of letters. You overestimate our abilities to translate stuff.
Yeah.
So no, we do not do it here in Phoenix. So we have a big network of our offices and affiliate partners. A lot of them throughout Ukraine. There are actually thousands of people, thousands of interpreters work in different destinations, helping to translate your letters. So it's not done here in Phoenix. And as far as who helps women create profiles, well, we kind of have a template. So when a woman signs up, we just give it to her to sign up, kind of a questionnaire. So she answers questions about herself, and if she will struggle, she can always ask staff to help her write stuff. So for example, I have my little cousin's profile on the website. I totally wrote stuff for her. Can't say a lot of it was, very close to reality, because I just, so I wrote that stuff like she likes to cook and, you know, she's extremely friendly. Well, no, she's not. But, you know, have to advertise her somehow. And then you'll figure out on your own she hates to cook. Okay, the next question from Tom.
Hi, Anna and Dina. Since I'm single with no children, I probably would be interested in meeting a woman with, who already has children. My question is about the cost of translators. I will be in Odessa in about 3 weeks to meet a woman who is from Kherson. She wanted to meet me in Odessa, but she wanted to bring a translator from the office in Kherson that she is familiar with. I'm just wondering what would be the cost of bringing a translator from a different city for 3 days? Thanks.
Well, Tom, so as far as the kids thing, I mean, again, I understand where you're coming from. Just try to keep an open mind. As far as meeting a lady from Kherson, well, we definitely can schedule, you know, if you want to meet her in Odessa, we can schedule it. That is not a problem. And I not necessarily see anything wrong with her bringing her interpreter from Kherson. We do not have an office in Kherson, so the person whom she's bringing most likely either friend of hers or interpreter that she's very comfortable with. I don't blame her for bringing her own interpreter because, you know, she's traveling to a different city. She doesn't know whether you're a serial killer or not. So in many cases, she wants to bring somebody for safety reasons and just, you know, to make sure that the meeting goes smooth. Overall, so interpreters in Ukraine are $20 an hour, and that's what this interpreter should charge you. I would ask this question, and, you know, when you're corresponding with your lady, just ask her what this friend/interpreter will charge. You know, so as long as it's $20 an hour, I don't really see a problem with that. Or if you, you know, once you meet, if there are any issues and you do not like this interpreter, talk to Anna, Odessa office manager, since you're going to be there, and she would be happy to assist you further. So switch interpreter and do something about it. Okay, question.
And it's a really common thing that a girl want to bring her own interpreter. It's probably her friend, and plus she knows English, so, and she feels more safe like that. So I do phone translation calls, and actually we're doing that schedule meetings with guy and girl. So, and she asking him if she can bring her friend with her. So, and it's really often, so she bringing her own interpreter.
Plus, again, sometimes, guys, when you bring your own interpreter, that's especially a part of a, and God forbid it's a man, you know, she feels, you know, she's like in the police department being, you know, interrogated because, you know, first, she's not comfortable sitting at a table with two men, you know, that's, you know, going to be drilling her with questions.
Yeah.
It's just, or even if it's a woman, the same, she doesn't know this woman. And in many cultures, people, especially, you know, Eastern European culture, people are more reserved. So she will not be willing to open up to absolute unknown persons unless this person is nice, friendly, and charming, and she managed to find the connection with your woman. You know, you can just totally destroy your date by, you know, forcing something that the woman is not comfortable with her. You know, you will not see her for the second time, and hey, you know, all the time wasted.
Nicholas from Colorado. Great show tonight, Anna and Dina. I've been writing a woman who advertised from Moscow, and now I learned she's from Vladivostok. Anna, how to phrase about asking her to meet me in Kyiv during my stay in February, rather than her going where she's familiar back to Moscow. Any ideas? Thank you. Nice smile, Dina. Hi, Nicholas. Thank you so much.
Also, Nicholas, you know, geographically, you know, asking someone from Vladivostok to come to Kiev is like asking somebody from South Korea to meet you in Australia. It is really far away. So imagine it is 9 hours flight to Moscow. Then from Moscow, she would have to fly to somewhere in Europe because there is no flights between Russia and Ukraine due to political situation. Then from Europe, she would have to go. So basically, she'll have to take 3 planes. It will take 35 to 40 hours for her to get from Vladivostok to Kiev. I do not know how much of a fond of she will be of this idea, so you might want to talk about different meeting point rather than Kiev. Again, feel free to ask. Maybe she's that adventurous, but that's a lot to travel. Plus, again, because of the political situation, a lot of Russians do not feel comfortable traveling to Ukraine. Matter of fact, my family members didn't want to necessarily go meet me in Ukraine when I was there last time, and I had to convince them. So, you know, you might want to talk about more to her, see how she's confident. Question from Kevin. I'm a guy in my early 20s. I love the idea of exotic vacation to another country, especially when it means talking with beautiful women. But would women want to talk with someone who is so young? It seems they want men who are more mature, and I think older men have that higher level of maturity.
It's not necessary. Not
Yeah.
all of the girls want a mature man. I think they'll be happy to talk to you, and then they'll decide mature if you're mature enough.
I'm assuming you're gonna be mostly interested in women in their early 20s as well, and that should not present an issue since you're gonna be the same age. If you're considering a little bit somebody who's a little older, yeah, that could see slight challenges with that, because again, if we're talking about Eastern Europe here, because I don't know what country you're interested in, women tend not to follow the guys who are younger than them simply because they consider them immature, not ready for the family. But again, once they get to know you, they will understand that you're different.
Yes,
you
I
know,
think
but for other cultures in Latin America should not be a problem. You know, I've seen plenty of those cases. I had quite a few younger guys on our Latin American tours. Of course, you know, Philippines, Thailand will be great for that, and China. You know, we're looking forward to seeing you on the tour. You know.
From team, what is the biggest issue or surprise from Ukrainian women that move to the U.S.?
Well, life is full of surprises, what can I say? And there are a lot of them. It's very individual, but maybe Dina can share here. So what surprised you the most when you came to the United States, if you can remember?
Yes, I remember it. It's food. It was a big portion of food. So we came to a restaurant, and they bring a plate, and it was so much food there, like for 10 people. It was like the most surprise. I won't believe people can eat, I mean, that so much food. And I see you don't eat so much, so you take half, like you take that in a pack in a bag and just take it home. So
Yeah,
that's maybe why that's so much.
I don't know, what a
food.
joy of eating leftover food. I mean, unless it's Thanksgiving, that's
So that was surprise for me, how much, how big is that portion in the restaurants.
Yeah, I guess I would agree too. I think it's the first thing that surprised me the most when my first days when I just like got to California, and me and my friends go order the salad, and they bring the bucket of salads. Me and a couple of my girlfriends, it was enough for 3 of us to eat for 4 more days after. You know, it's just guys.
I remember that day we went to Denny's and for breakfast, and my husband ordered like just a regular breakfast, you know, and it was so much food. Oh my gosh, I always have a panic attack. I can eat all those.
And another thing, probably, well, not so much in California, but like in other places I lived in, people don't walk here. It's just, you know, it's normal for Russians. We need to go somewhere. Okay, well, let's walk. Yes, they don't. Yes, Killian, they do not walk.
Because they're all driving. If you're 16, since 16 you start driving and it's really spoiled you, then you don't want to walk nowhere. So that's probably part of it. But here in Arizona it's so hot, so it's probably why too.
Yeah,
they're all in gym.
Yeah. See, think about all the money you can save on a gym membership if you can just walk. I was just we were just talking to my wonderful coworker Killian, that's actually assisting us with this webcast tonight. The other day we were going to a seminar which is around the corner, and we drove there. It is 300 meters. We drove 300 meters.
I will never get over it.
I will never get over that. That is just, that is just ridiculous. I'm sorry, guys. You need to walk more in general. Yeah, so it's strange. And when you walk in the street, people look at you like you're weird. I like walking. I miss people on the streets. I enjoy walking. And, every time I try to walk to work in the beginning, and people stare at me like I'm homeless or there's something wrong with me.
But even if you walk here, you're not going to meet nobody. I mean, you're going to
be
only
by yourself.
Walking.
Yes, exactly. And it's not only in Phoenix. You can say that Phoenix is incredibly hot. Well, in other places too. There's very few places.
We have a good issue. Good issue. Excuse. It's too hot.
Okay. Well, anyway. So. Question. Which one? I'm sorry. Mike.
From Mike.
From Mike. I love this webcast, and you two are great. Well, thank you, Mike. You talked about taking a Ukrainian lady for a short trip to Europe for time together. What countries could Chinese women travel to? Thanks. Well, actually, depending on her situation, but I need to look into that. But pretty sure most of Asian countries she can travel to, visa free. Even actually, Chinese citizens technically need a visa to or permit to go to Hong Kong. You might really consider Hong Kong. It's a really cool place if you haven't been there. It's not going to be that necessarily different for her because it's still kind of China, but not really, and it's going to be good for you because it's still westernized. There are a lot of expats living there. And everything is duplicated in English. A lot of people speak English. When you're on the bus, it's all duplicated in English. Streets, so it will be easy for you. And it's not going to be a huge cultural shock. It's it's very Western. It's actually very British for obvious reasons. So it's going to be good for you, and it's going to be easy for her. So it's kind of like middle ground. So and tons of stuff to do. Beautiful hotels, a bunch of islands, amusement park. There is ocean park with cool penguins. So yeah, go check it out. Tom, hello ladies, great show. Thank you, Tom. I have no problem with a lady with children. Anna, please tell me if you can about the ladies from Cancun area. There are no socials or private tours. I'm riding with a couple of ladies, but they seem to just want to write letters and won't commit to meeting in person. Any advice? Well, as we mentioned a little earlier today, Tom, as far as those women in Playa del Carmen and Cancun, it might be a little challenging. Because they all work in travel industry, it might be a little more difficult to arrange meetings. You would need to talk to actually the agency down in Playa del Carmen. Just give us a call and we'll give you the contact information for the agency down there. Just write to them. Tell them the ID numbers of the women you want to meet and your travel dates so they can talk to those women, confirm whether it's good for them or not. Get back with you and schedule the dates, but those women would need some advance notice to plan accordingly because they, in and out and traveling a lot. Some working like on the cruise ships and things like this.
So from Bobby, woman with child fine. I'm early 60s. Are there any women 49 and up at social in Odessa and Kiev? I don't write letters. Really just want to go over there, but undecided if group tour best or individual.
Well, Bobby, actually, that's great that you, your target age group is, late 40s. That's wonderful because those ladies are so beautiful, but they get overlooked completely because everybody's shooting for the younger age group. Again, it's so nice. So as far as going on a group tour though for that, age group, I don't know. I would actually personally suggest individual tour. Because ladies in their late 40s just really don't like to. And there are some, don't get me wrong, there's probably up to 5% of people at the socials in their late 40s, but overall they do not like to go to social because they get overlooked. And guys usually go for younger women. Younger women are more aggressive approaching guys as well. So those poor women sit all night long in the corner, nobody even talks to them. So the feelings kind of hurt. They're not sure if they want to keep doing it to themselves. So maybe individual tour would be better. This way you maximize, the number of people you meet. Make your list, go through profiles, let me know which city you come in, and we'll make all arrangements accordingly.
So it's very nice age difference. That's good you go for like 49, but you can go for 40 years old girls, so probably it will work
you can
too.
go a little bit younger if you want, but again, if you can go for late 40s, that's wonderful. That's I just so want to see all those women get married because I see their faces every social, and it's just so sad because they have so much to offer. There is so much love. There is so much passion. They're very caring, giving. They would make amazing life partners if you guys just would, stop chasing younger girls and give those women a shot. They're really great.
Maybe you should just go to social if you decide to go on a tour. And you know what? I think it's a good genetic. So they have a good genetic. So might be 49-year-old girl, like she will look like 40. You should look around and just give us a list with girls what you choose, like 10 girls, and we will try to arrange meetings with them. So that's an idea too if you want to go for the tour.
Question from Bob from Charlotte. How far in advance of a trip should we start communicating via email with the ladies who would like to meet? Well, as far as that, I would suggest not to start writing to people more than a month prior to a trip, simply because you will correspond a lot, and you kind of will shoot yourself in the foot in a way. You start creating the image of people in your head but when you meet them in reality, it just might not be the same. She might laugh like a horse, I'm sorry, or she will not, or there's something about you she will not like. Just those little details in the correspondence. It's all perfect because we are just projecting our perfect idea of a perfect partner on those letters. And we end up dealing with real people with real mood swings, real life problems. It's just so very different. So months is just the right time to start. Send some messages to people that you identify. Don't go crazy on correspondence. Just few messages. Just say, hi, I'm such and such. You have really good smile. I'd like to meet you when I'm whatever it is city you're in. You say something nice, and that's maybe a couple more messages just to establish initial interest. So when our staff calls her, she will already know who you are, and kind of will also plan accordingly. If you start writing way too early, it's not gonna get you anywhere closer to getting married than if you start writing a month in advance. Also because, if you're writing someone, let's say for a year, right? In this year, you're building up all these hopes, and like 3 months prior to a trip, she just meets a guy at her local grocery store while buying some vegetables. He approaches to her, says something, they start dating, and here it is. Your perfect dream girl is gone. So better not to even start doing it, because again, correspondence is just a way to get to know someone a little bit, but it does not guarantee a relationship out of it.
So yes, I agree. So absolutely. So you can write as many letters as you want, and crazy, and it's be so nice. But you meet her, it could be completely different. So I met my husband in St. Petersburg, and he been writing to other girl for a year, so for an affair, and they met and they didn't like each other. So and then we never wrote each other. So and. We met, and actually it worked out, so I'm here for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good example that sometimes it works, it's fine, if it works, great, but if not, so what?
And the second part of Bob's question is, you have VIP services if you cannot attend the social, right? What are the advantages or disadvantages of that service? Well, I'm not positive if you're referring to individual tour or actual executive plan, because it's very, very different services. So if we're talking about individual tour, we're definitely happy to schedule one for you, but keep in mind, you cannot arrange individual tour within group tour dates. Individual services meant for the people traveling on their own outside of the group tour dates. If you're talking about executive service, it's a personalized matchmaking service that's actually taken 4, 5, 6 months to find the right matches. And again, we'll be happy to talk to you more about more details. Feel free to reach out to us, we'll go more details. And there are obviously different costs involved for each of those services.
So for Mark, I'm going to Shenzhen, and most of the women on the site say they are looking for older men. I'm a little concerned because I'm 41, but probably look closer to early 30. I am interested in middle 20s to early 30s women. Do you think this will be an issue? Should I wear my age on a name tag?
No. Well, first of all, 41 is, yes, you are pretty young, which is, which is pretty good. And yes, you definitely can go for the woman, I don't know about mid-20s. I think it's still a little stretch. If we're talking about Ukraine, if it's any other country.
It's China.
China. I'm sorry, Shenzhen. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, so for Shenzhen, still age difference is somewhat a concern. So mid-20s is a little stretch there. I would say late 20s would be a little bit better target audience, just higher chances of things working out. But again, it's statistics. I mean, it's not always correct. So, but yeah, I mean, so if you go for somebody late 20s, early 30s, you'll be just fine. Yeah. Do you wanna?
From Brian, when is the best time to go to any of the cities in Ukraine? I know it gets bone-chilling cold. They're a great show tonight. Thank you, Brian, so much.
Best time to go to Ukraine.
Yeah, best time spring, I think. In my opinion, it's always spring, like love in the air.
Okay,
What,
well,
what do you think?
In the winter time, okay, it might be cold, but then what? You're not gonna be, hiking in the mountains and camping in a tent. Who cares? You're gonna be staying in a hotel. You're not really doing much of walking in the winter time, so all your walk consists of walking out of hotel lobby to your taxi. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can handle a couple of feet walk, even if it's really cold. So it should not stop you. And the benefit of travel in the winter time is, Well, first of all, airfare is cheaper, so you save a lot of money. And second thing, well, when you travel in the summertime, a lot of people take vacation summertime, so as you. And you can miss a lot of people you're interested in because they're gonna be out of town. And in the wintertime, very few people take vacation, so here it is. So yeah, I mean, spring is definitely a good time, as Dina said, love is in the air. But in the end of the day, I don't think it really make a huge effect on how to meet people and the effectiveness of dating. From Ed, what are the options in Kyiv for dating ladies that we meet? Are there live music venues, indoor tennis courts, indoor golf, driving ranges, etc.? Like to play sports and hope the ladies I meet do too. So live music venues, plenty of it, all kind of music you can imagine. There are wonderful cover bands, I mean, everywhere. Karaoke venues, if you like to sing, that's very popular in Kyiv. There are tennis courts, I believe some of them are indoors, so you can do that. As far as indoor driving ranges, that is not happening. Golf is not popular in Ukraine, it's extremely expensive. They have 1 or 2 golf courses outside of Kyiv, but at the moment it's a sport for like rich oligarchs, so it's really not affordable for most of Kyiv population, so that's why they don't really have indoor driving ranges as of now. They again might be in the next few years, things develop, but there is bowling, there is pool, I mean, just all kinds of things available. So depending on the time of the year you go, just simple bicycle ride. Actually, Kyiv is great. There are a few great parks in Kyiv. You can rent a bicycle and off you go. And wonderful bicycle tours you can take. So yeah. And women are very active, so they will be happy to join you on whatever it is you're doing, as long as it's not the first date, because they're gonna show up on their heels and makeup, and if she's all dressed up and you're putting her on a bicycle, that's not gonna go well. So,
Francis, 45 to 55 age are smoking hot ladies.
Great.
Agree, right?
Yes, exactly, Francis. I wish everybody would think the same way too. Oh, David, my buddy David, good to hear from you again. Anna, do you have any idea which Ukrainian tours you will lead next year? Well, that's a question for John. I would think...
David, go to November. It's right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not late. I mean, what are you going to be doing?
Anna cannot wait to see you in November.
Exactly.
Tour,
I mean,
right?
what to do in Wisconsin anyway? It's freezing cold. Let's freeze together in
Yes.
Ukraine at least. I'll get you turkey or something. Or something close to turkey. Probably it's going to be chicken sandwich, but we can work on that. As far as next year, well, John is going to be doing the January tour. And Joe usually does spring tours. So most likely I'm gonna be doing the summer tour, so it's not gonna be for a while. So it's either November or waiting until summer. I have to choose my vacation nearly a year in advance. Well, I guess that's gonna be summer. Hoping to visit Kyiv and Odessa again. Any chance if I will return to Poltava or Sumy? I think we do have Sumy on the tour schedule. I think maybe not. Poltava, no, we closed down the office there, so not in the nearest future. For the poll question, ladies with children is great unless the father refuses to sign papers. It was my experience. Yeah, David. Well, things happen, but those cases is more like, I wouldn't say 1 in a million, but it is rare. You just happen to run into one of those cases, and again, that's horrible when it happens, but it is not the most common case. And I believe it would be less difficult for younger children to adapt to a new culture. Yep, absolutely agree. Teens may have more trouble simply because American teenagers are monsters.
I'm telling you,
monsters.
I know what you're talking about.
Your kids are sweet. What are you talking about? Do you think has the sweetest kids ever? I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know.
They are. She's just been tough Russian mother there. But,
yeah.
I don't agree with monsters, and might be a little bit more difficult for a teenager to adjust in a new country simply because it's a teenager. It's just they're very dramatic about everything.
Yeah, exactly,
and
Anna. See,
Well, yeah, just because they're dramatic, that they might struggle a little bit in the beginning, but it's much, they will understand how much more this country has to offer for them. And they'll suffer for the first 6-7 months, but then once they make friends, I know plenty of people, that was teenage kids that moved here and everybody's happy.
I think we'll get one more question and
wrap it up, and
Yep.
I'll go watch Patriots game.
yeah. From Richard, how would I go about identifying and meeting some of the ladies? shown in a video footage of your social events?
Oh, that's a good question. We're still trying to figure out ourselves. So what you can do, you can just do print screens of the if you like a lady in the video, take a print screen. You can email it to me, and I
And
can
ask Joe. He knows all of them.
Yeah, Joe knows a
Probably.
lot of Ukrainian ladies. He
Yes.
definitely can help. But you can also feel free to send these print screens to me. I'll show it to local staff. I can guarantee they'll remember all the, every woman out of this 400 that attended the social. But we can give it a try. You never know what happens. Well, guys, let's wrap it up. I would like to remind you about our seminars once again, because it would be great to meet you in person. So looking forward to doing that. Maybe.
So Chicago, November 2nd, Indianapolis, November 3rd, Dana Point, November 16th, and Las Vegas, November 17th, guys.
Yeah, so looking forward to you in there. Maybe not necessarily in Las Vegas. Would mind though.
Yes.
Maybe next year on that we'll work with John on that. But well, thank you guys for watching. It was wonderful. Thank you for all the questions you submitted. I wish we'd have more time. But again,
Thank you guys so much for watching us.
It was
Have a
pleasure.
good night.
Have a good night. See you next Monday.